welcome to perhaps the saddest 6-kill. I won't even call it a carry, it's more of a throw, but the saddest 6-kill victory you're likely to witness. The EF-109 G-6 here is actually, this is my second match in it, and part of the reason I'm playing a 109 is because the recent patch nerfed, perhaps inadvertently, pretty much every US prop in the game, and I thought it might be nice to play something whose flight performance didn't get crushed, inadvertently or not. And of the 6 kills, there's no actual dogfighting, so we'll just we'll skip ahead and try to find something interesting. We'll get to the cautionary tale at the end. So you would think this guy was AFK climbing, because why else would you fly directly under a EF-109 and your P-47? And when this happens, I like to push things a little bit. How close can I get? And maybe he's not AFK, but pulling up into the left was certainly not the play there. So I promise no actual dogfighting. No actual dogfighting. We're going to wrap some altitude. Actually, the first time I reviewed this replay, I completely forgot about this second player here, the Typhoon. He is paying attention, but I don't know what would possess you to pitch up at a BF-109 of all aircraft. It's sort of like cutting to the enemy. I mean, the BF-109 wants to enter your trap field, wants to stall you out. But if you just start the fight by stalling yourself out for the 109, I guess it's efficient. It saves a lot of time. I must say that it's nice that the ammo stretches a little further than it does in a Yak. Now that we're done with the Typhoon, we're on to yet another P-47. Now there are actually a lot of targets to choose from here, and originally I wanted the F-8F because that is the player on their team with the most kills. He's got 3 or 4. The rest of my team at this point has evaporated. It's just me. There might be a bomber somewhere, I don't know, but it's just me. I'm the only fighter left. The Sea Fury back there in the background he's about to kill my last teammate there, and he will have 3 kills, so respectively I think the F-8F has 4, the Sea Fury has 3, so I would have liked to take one of them out, but I don't know, it was a theme for P-47s this match. I don't know how you say no to that. So I didn't. So there's a guy that decides he wants to fly right under me to pound AI targets, and you can see the points. Okay, unnecessary. That B-17 is kind of floating around. He's probably the best fighter pilot in the match, just not in a fighter. The cautionary tale here is I was spotted. If you saw, their fighters were spotted too, and we've got sort of the tail end Charlie on their team who should have known better, leading me right back to the forward airfield. And the B-17, of course, is not helping matters. So really the question we're answering here is, when there's an enemy fighter inside 10 kilometers, should everybody go to the forward airfield at the same time to land? And should at least one of the people on the team make sure they're spotted when they do it to leave the enemy fighter directly there? And we're now, I think, ready to answer that question. Now, I do keep an eye on the Spitfire here coming in for the approach, and they were incredibly slow, they were incredibly low, so I decide that I'm just going to send it here, and I'm going to assume that that Spitfire can't get to me. And as it turns out, that works out fine. So those the two best players on their team there, with a combined 7 air-to-air victories between them, and that's a Spitfire that eventually decided to start paying attention, but isn't fast enough to catch me. And he's going to show some amazing skill here. Take my eye off for a second because that B-17 is still fighting. And, you know, I guess if you're not any good at actually flying your aircraft, you can put it into the ground to prevent somebody from shooting it down. I'm not really sure how briefing works, but that's what I assumed that was. The B-17 here, again, gotta give him credit. He is trying his best to be a fighter, and he does something a little bit interesting here at the end. He actually lands. I assume his thought process was, if I land, I can't be shot down, so degradation to engines, flight performance, etc. Won't matter at that point, and I can just try to be a anti-air weapon system from the forward air base here. My accuracy is not impressive, but since this guy has sort of shown himself to have a couple of functioning brain cells, I'm being a little bit cautious because he's the only one left, and it would be a real shame to lose at this point and waste the sacrifice of that Spitfire so violently crashed himself into the ground. It's really exceptional marksmanship on my part. A couple hits as he went down, and his plan seems to have worked because despite the damage he had taken because he was already on the way to land, no issues. The plane is basically stock, so man, look at the spread on those guns. Half a B-17 worth, and there it is. So the least impressive 6-kill victory possible. A truly amazing throw by people who, I don't know, should have known better.